Today on Chasin The Sun, we look back at some of the best fishing from this season.
Oh, look at that giant! Holy cow, look at that fish! Oh my God! Mammoth! Oh, wow. Start off the afternoon.
And some fun off the water as well.
You will dream about sun. Chasing the sun, it's appropriate.
Chasin The Sun is brought to you by Dulce Vida Tequila, Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler, Florida Fishing Products, Fish Better, Fish Florida, and by Z-Man Fishing Products, the science and art of fishing.
You know, as a full-time fishing guide, every morning, I don't care how long you've been doing it, you have a certain amount of pressure on you because you know that these people are putting their faith and their trust in you to show them a good time and put them on some fish. So most fishing trips, we're waiting for that first bite. As soon as that rod bends for the first time, you feel that pressure going away. Well, as a tarpon guide, you know that's probably not going to happen real quickly. So you just kind of prepare yourself mentally to put that time in and work to get those first bites. Well, when you put cameras on the boat, you really know it's going to take a while to get all the stars to align. Fortunately, it's not always like that. As y'all saw this season, the tarpon played along and they showed up and they bit as soon as we got out.
Most people who visit Panama City Beach come to relax on the white sand beaches and enjoy the emerald green waters. All year around, it's a familiar sight to see native marine life revealing themselves along the beach. But in the summer, there is another. Silver Kings. It's the time when tarpon are riding our shoreline in large schools on their annual migration. Sliding by rows of condos, they quietly continue their journey, virtually unnoticed by beachgoers. But for anglers who seek them out and thrive on challenge and heartbreak, it's game on.
Got him! There we go! Coming back, look at him, he's coming up! Oh, dude! I'm about to jump right there, look! Oh, I got one on me. There you go. Dang, I had one at the same stinking time. Look at this. That was a big honking fish. That was a beast.
My first tarpon was on the fly rod, believe it or not. Probably one of the most difficult ways to do it, but one of the most effective ways too.
And mine as well. And why do you think that is? Because who showed us the first thing we could get a tarpon to bite?
Yeah, my uncle.
Your Uncle Bobby.
My uncle, yeah. He was always big into tarpon fishing. He really helped us out when we were first starting, and I think he had talked us into that was probably one of the best ways to try to catch one of these awesome fish, and that's what we started doing.
So the tarpon is basically the only fish that you can absolutely never get tired of catching. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they're basically like a bomb waiting to go off. When I see a group of fish swimming and I'm reeling a lure into that school of fish, it's the only fish that no matter how long I do it, how many times I've done it, or how many I've caught, my knees still start to shake a little bit, because you know when that tarpon rises up behind your bait, you know he's gonna bite it. And when he starts to close the gap, You just can't prepare yourself for the explosion that's about to happen.
I hate tarpon. Changed my life for this fish because I loved them so much. And then you fish them and fish them and fish them and fish them and fish them, and you realize that I hate tarpon. This is so bad. But they're awesome as long as you're persevering through time and putting in the effort long enough.
You mean they're awesome on those days that they bite?
Yeah, like every 1,000th fish.
And you love them, they're the greatest thing on earth. Yeah. And then the rest of the time, you hate them.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they're never doing what you think they're gonna do. Like 5% of the time they're predictable. The rest of the time they're totally on their own. But they're migrating. So once you realize what they're doing and change what you wanna do to what they're doing, you catch them, right?
These fish that we're gonna try to catch today are the same fish that I fished for last year, the year before. These are very old fish. These fish that make this migration throughout the Gulf of Mexico, some of them are 20, 30, and even up to 50 plus years old. It's really neat to be able to fish for the same fish year after year. And because we take good care of them, you know, we can continue to do this forever. It's a fishery that is very sustainable. So we spend a lot of time sitting on the hook tarpon fishing, but I tell you what, I can always tell when that magic 2-week window is happening. We'll usually go through some lulls and not see a lot of fish, and then when you see them, you see the mother lode. And what that tells me is I want to get off the hook and start chasing these fish down and cutting them off and running gun fishing for them. Well, we got a full tank, we got about 100 gallons. If we don't catch them, it's not gonna be because we didn't burn enough dinosaurs, in the words of Travis.
So tarpon are like super sensitive to pressure. They don't like noise, they don't like splashing people, boats and all that. And that's why we used to would take a left coming out of the pass and head east because there wasn't as much pressure. Well, it's kind of changed over the years.
When we hit the pass, Justin turned right, and it kind of caught me off guard. What are we doing? But we rolled up. There was a huge wad of fish just right off the bat, right as we passed the pier.
Yeah. There's a wad of like hundreds of tarpon right here in front of us. So we're just getting set up. I try to estimate my drift where I think we're going to end up. The wind's kind of blowing us around a little bit, and we don't want to get too close to them. We want to get the motor shut down, just be kind of nice and quiet. There we go. We're shut down. They're right here. Yeah, I can see them way out there.
There's some coming up on me too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's one right under me right now.
There we go. Hey, well, that didn't take long, ladies and gentlemen.
When you fight a fish, you've always been taught to keep tension on the line or on the rod. Keep a bend in the rod, keep tension on the line, don't let any slack. But when these fish jump and they come out of the water and they do their head shake, it's so violent that you really you bow to the fish. You actually aim the rod and point it at the fish and give him some slack so that when he's doing that head shake, it doesn't put any extra tension or pull the hook in a different direction and give him an opportunity to spit the hook.
Tarpon likes to flip, but then not quit. No, sir. All right. Hooks out.
Hooks out. All right. So one thing, you know, people may ask is, well, why is tarpon fishing so much fun? You know, you don't keep these fish, you release them. But the truth of it is, it's really the size of the fish and how the fish fight. So from the moment you hook that fish up, immediately there's an explosion. And Justin knows this from years of doing it. When that fish starts to break the surface of the water and put a hole in the water, there's no way to really explain it or describe it, but everything's right in the world, and that's all that your mind's focused on. Yeah, so the most important thing with these fish is to try to get them back and released as healthy as possible. Whenever we catch them, we try to get them to the boat really quick. Come get the hook out of their mouth, and then get the boat in gear, get some water going over their gills, and get them revived. He gave us a good show, but I think he's ready to go.
Yeah, they usually let you know when they're ready to go.
There he goes.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That didn't take long.
Good deal.
So the only thing better than catching a tarpon, like right when you get out here, is actually getting your hands on the mouth of that first fish. And then the only thing better than that is knowing that there's two giant wads right here behind us. So we're not gonna sit here and talk for very long. We're gonna try to go find them again.
That's right.
So the most important thing about tarpon is you can't necessarily plan them. When they decide to do something cool and you get the phone call, you gotta go.
Yep.
You gotta go. Whatever you're doing, you gotta drop. It's the most important thing. All those wives out there in TV land are hating this right now.
Tarpon in Florida are catch and release only. I mean, me and Ricky have caught a lot of them for a lot of years, and we've released a lot of healthy tarpon. And it's really passionate, you know, I mean, to us, to take care of that fish. One thing that happens, I think sometimes these fish just fight till they're exhausted. This fish, when we tried to release it, didn't want to swim off. Luckily, we're right here on the beach in like 6-7 feet of water, and it's gin clear. So we actually watched this fish start to swim and then just kind of sink on down to the bottom, and it didn't look like it would make it.
Come on, bud.
That's when the good captain here took matters into his own hands and actually got in the water and got the fish back up to the boat and gave us another chance to revive it. And so we took a little bit more time with it, got some water going over its gills, and got it to swim away. We really want to try to take care of these fish. It's a great game fish, and we want the future generation to come back and be able to catch them just like we have.
So of course, part of the tarpon fishing deal that makes it so exciting for us is the fact that it's just that short window of time in the summer that we can do it, which makes us spend the rest of the year wishing we were tarpon fishing. Well, red fishing's completely different. That is our true year-round game fish in shallow water, deep water, near the beach, you name it, right here in Panama City Beach.
So we do a ton of topwater fishing. A lot of it is sight fishing, and this is just a little different twist on sight fishing because we're not looking for the fish actually swimming in the water. What we're doing is we're looking for the explosions that these redfish are making on crabs.
Right there.
Here's the important part about fishing reds in the summer. June and July are pre-spawn feed months for reds. So on the moons, when all these crabs move out, they're going to be very opportunistic and move into areas that concentrate the crab migration and feed on them. Now, as these crabs float in the water, what a red will do is they'll swim up nice and easy, and then they do a last big hard ambush push, and if they get the crab, then they're going to go on down. But if they miss the crab, they're going to spin around. And this is what opportunity Justin and Matt are fishing for.
Most of the time when we're looking for redfish feeding on the surface, we're looking for birds. The birds and the redfish are both trying to feed on the same bait balls. So even if we can't see the bait, we can see the birds that have already found the bait. Well, this is different because there's no bait around. This is all crabs. These crabs are like super high protein, and when there's a lot of crabs floating on the surface, the redfish will leave bait altogether and they'll go to those crabs. We don't have birds that are going to tell us where those crabs are at, but what we do see is these giant holes in the water where the redfish come up and explode the crabs. And as soon as we hear that or see it, now we know where our plug needs to go.
We have some really neat soft plastics here the Z-Man makes. It's made out of a material called Elastec, and it floats, which is unlike any soft plastic you'll find on the market. It's also really tough. What's neat, when I rig it on an unweighted hook, the bait itself actually floats on the surface, just like these crabs out here. So what I'm able to do is throw it up tight, let it drift down, and these redfish will come crash it right on the surface. And I know I've said it 1,000 times, but when you get big redfish crashing stuff up on top, it's pretty exciting.
So the beauty of this Z-Man crab, not only that it floats, but it's the exact size of a lot of the crabs that these redfish are eating. Set it down next to the real thing here and let you take a look. Pretty close. Profile, legs, everything. And that's why they get the bites. Justin, one of the luckiest guys I know. Just rather be close to him and get some of his good luck. You can never go wrong being close to Justin. So anytime Justin and I take off to get an afternoon or an opportunity to fish, pretty rare, I always keep in mind his luck, his ability to always be right where the fish are at the right time, and this afternoon was no exception.
Dang, come on. Oh, right behind us. Like big holes in. Oh, there he is. Do you see that bite? Woo-hoo.
So roughly half the time, these guys being professionals are gonna get it right. A lot of times, the ability to get it right is based on sheer luck. And that's the reason why Matt talks about luck, because, you know, Justin's kind of lucky, but really, he's just done it so much more than everybody else that he usually gets it right.
It's hard to put that in perspective until you're on the water and we're out there and you got this huge area where these fish are feeding, but we somehow seem to kind of drift right down the line of where the fish are.
My goodness. Like big holes in the bay.
So Matt always says that I'm the luckiest guy he knows. As a matter of fact, he's the one that nicknamed me Clover, like, you know, when we were kids. Well, Matt also taught me that luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So I think Matt's actually giving me a compliment when he says that I'm the luckiest guy he knows.
Oh my goodness. This is a pretty extraordinary fish here. Golly. Look at that. All right, Matt. You can let go on this 20-pound leader, so if he takes off, just let him go, and I'll work him back up here. Now that is a redfish.
Man.
So I'm super excited about this redfish right here because I'm pretty sure it's a Chasin The Sun record. I think this is the biggest redfish we've caught on the show, and y'all know we've caught a ton of redfish on this show.
All right, Matt, that's not a bad way to start off the afternoon.
Not at all. That fish could be hard to top.
Yeah. Well, that might be a Chasin The Sun record.
Nicely done.
That's work. You're up, Matt. Nap time for me.
Chasin the Sun has been brought to you by Humminbird, simply, clearly better. Minn Kota, Sea Deck Marine Products, define your deck. Rapala Coastal, another great day. Pirates Cove Marina, you enjoy the Gulf, we'll take care of the rest. And by Panama City Inshore, these guys can fish.
Y'all know I was born and raised right here, so naturally growing up in a town like this, you're gonna do some touristy stuff. But I got to do a couple new ones this year that I would add to my must-do list and just watch your children be entertained. So the crew on here really does a good job with the kids. From the second the kids get on the boat to the second they get off, their minds are occupied. So if you're coming to Panama City Beach and you have younger kids,
you want to see them walk the plank?
this is definitely an attraction you gotta see.
There's never a shortage of things to do and see in Panama City Beach. And for Travis, that's the easy part. Finding something new to eat, drink, or experience is just one event away. An exercise Travis takes full advantage of.
Best part about the South, you get an impromptu breakdown. Throwing beans, that's great. Did you see that? Throwing beans, Mardi Gras. I am Zoltar, the great gypsy, and I can see your fortune. He's got $1. Your small payment will reap great benefits if you listen to these words of wisdom. He's the man. Now you can look ahead to better times. You will dream about sun. Chasin the Sun, it's appropriate. Zoltar speaks the truth. Cheeseburger.